Hey guys, Jim here, also known as Guns and Games on my blog. So this is my first video. I've been thinking about doing one for a while, but unfortunately the stars hadn't aligned in terms of my work schedule and in terms of getting a product I was satisfied with. I will say that I did it once or twice before. Actually, now this is the third time because I just made one a little bit ago and my phone geeked out and cut it off when it wasn't done. So this is probably my fourth and final time for today before I have to go do some stuff. So hopefully this all runs smoothly and I'll get it uploaded at least. So as a first video, I thought it would be pretty appropriate to start off with the first gun I ever bought, which is the SR-22. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about it, just some funny quirks and stuff like that. It's by no means a review or anything remotely comprehensive. The caveat being is that I got my license to carry about 10 months ago. I am very much a beginner, and if anything, I'd be looking more for constructive criticism from people who actually do know what they're doing. But if you guys have any questions, I would be more than willing to try to help you out. I just probably won't have the right answer, and I'll be as clueless as you will. But anyway, so SR-22. It's chambered in .22 long rifle. It took me a while to actually get this gun because for the longest time it was a pretty hot commodity, and then just one day, one of the gun stores I go to, they send out emails when they get stuff in, and I was at work and they sent an email saying, we got some of these, and I was so gung-ho at going to buy one that I actually went on my lunch break and got one. So it wasn't all that expensive. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but I think for the gun and like a cleaning kit and all that basic intro purchase stuff, it wasn't anything more than like maybe $420, $425, something like that. I'm sure for other states that's probably a lot of money for a .22 pistol, but the caveat I should probably share with you guys is that I do live in Massachusetts, which, aside from probably California, probably has the most restrictive gun laws in the country, which there in turn makes everything super expensive, especially when eventually I get into talking about things like Glocks and semi-auto rifles and stuff like that, where, I have paid at least twice what a normal person would pay in another state. But yeah, I'll get into the politics and how frustrating that is later. But yeah, so it's a polymer pistol, not unlike your regular MMPs, your Glocks, things of that nature. But it does not have a stainless steel slide. It has an aluminum slide, so it's durable, but it's pretty light. Overall, not loaded. The gun's about 17.5 ounces. It's got a 3.5-inch barrel, which I believe qualifies it for subcompact, but since I don't plan on carrying it or using it for home defense, it really doesn't matter all that much. It's got an ambidextrous manual safety, which is this bad boy right here. So when you flick it up, when you see the little red thing, that means it's good to go. It's live, and down when it covers it, that means it's safe. It's also your decocker. So yeah, the color is helpful, in case you have not that good eyesight and you can't see the FNS that's right here, which I don't even know if I can show you guys. Oh, I'm in my own shadow. Yep, see the FNS. And it also has a left-sided slide release. It's not that bad. I think it's a little tight. I don't know if it's going to loosen up because I haven't completely broken in the gun yet. I've only probably put, I don't know, maybe 600-700 rounds down the pipe. So hopefully it'll loosen up a little bit because it's definitely stiff. It also has a ambidextrous mag release right here. And it also has a safety rail, or not safety rail, accessory rail, which, I guess is a nice feature. I don't know, like I said, I'm not going to use it for carry or home defense, so I'm not going to slap a laser or a flashlight or something on this bad boy. So, but yeah, hey, it's there in case I want to add something to it. What else can I tell you about it? More safety related, so it's got a, what do you call these things? A trigger disconnect, basically. So when the magazine's out, it's got a dead trigger. So let me see if I can show you without making it look horrible. This is the other downside of not having a dedicated camera, because I'm using my cell phone, and so I have one hand for the camera, one hand for the gun. But anyway, also, you guys can trust that it's safe, because I've already safety checked it. I promise it's safe. I don't mess around with stuff like that. But yeah, so back to the trigger. So when there's no magazine in there, it's got a completely dead trigger, which is a safety feature, and it's something that MASS requires. I don't know if this is on the non-MASS versions. I haven't honestly done that much research into it. I just assume it's not, just because MASS requires so many extra things. Like, another thing it requires is the round indicator, which it requires on all the guns. And I don't know if I can show you. Oh, yep, there it is. There's no round in there, so you can't really see anything, but normally when you see it, it's got like the little lip from the bullet. So that's something it requires. It requires the manual safety decocker, which is this thing here, like I said. And it also requires the magazine disconnect. It's got 3-dot sights. They're not night sights, they're just regular white sights. They're not too terrible. They're better than my stock Glock night sights that I need to change out. And you can also adjust them for windage and elevation. I don't really play around with that. I probably should, but I honestly don't know enough about it. And the one time I did play with the windage and elevation, give me 1 second, I have to put the pen through. The one time I did adjust for windage and elevation, I unscrewed it too much, and I did not realize that there's a tiny, tiny spring in there, and the thing rocketed off and went behind my computer here that's in front of me, and I honestly had to look for it for about an hour, I would say. And eventually I got lucky and found it, but for a while I thought I was either going to have to go without or try to figure out if I could order one from Ruger. So yeah, so be very careful, you know, if you're going to take that apart or any of the stuff that can rock it off. A good friend of mine suggested, you know, taking some of that stuff apart in like a plastic bag so you can have it in there, so in case anything shoots off, the bag's uncollected, you don't lose it. So that's what I would suggest to you. I haven't done it yet, but I also haven't played with it since that, because that was such a unpleasant experience. Anyway, so another feature on it, it's got this grip that you can just pull the bad boy right off. It's got a larger one, but you know, I haven't had any problems with the stock one. It fits my fingers just fine. Now I do have a slightly larger hand. I mean, I wouldn't say have like Bigfoot hands or anything, but it gets the job done, so I haven't bothered with it. It also has 2 magazines. They're both 10 rounds. And I assume they're 10 rounds in the non-totalitarian states like Massachusetts, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so just as a side thing with that, so any of the new pistols, they have to have 10 rounds or less. You know, you can get into things like the pre-ban pistols and semi-auto rifles and stuff like that, where you can get pre-ban magazines that are made before. I forget, it's either 94 or 98. I think it's 98. You know, that are more rounds, like, you know, 15, 20, 30, whatever you're looking for. Those are harder to find usually, and they're also considerably more expensive. Like, I know when I bought my Glock magazines, they were like $50 a pop for 15 round magazines. But yeah, so that's just the price you have to pay for living in a state like Massachusetts. Yeah, but I'll get into that later, because I think that's an important point just to talk about. What else can I tell you about this gun? It's got a double to single trigger. The double action trigger is pretty long and also pretty heavy. Single action is quite light, and it does have a, you know, I don't know all the terminology, but the trigger pull in single action is kind of loose in the beginning, which I don't particularly like, but it gets the job done. And it's a very light pull, you know, not all that different from a single action trigger pull in like a 1911 or something like that. And actually, as a funny side, this gun, when I first shot it, the first couple times, I did not realize it had a double to single action. You know, when you take the course to talk about double action, single action, they don't talk about that in between, which I did not realize that there were pistols like that, you know. So other ones like the like the SIGs, and I think some of the H&Ks have those. So when I first fired it, I thought my gun was broken, but it's ironically not. It's just me that's broken. My head's broken, but it took a little to get used to because I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. But yeah, so it's not bad. It just takes a little getting used to, and I thought it was interesting. And it doesn't seem like that good of an idea for like a beginner pistol, you know, because a lot of the 22s are starter pistols for a lot of people. It would have been nice to see it as just a double, single, you know, not that in between half and half kind of crap. But you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, yeah, it's been a good little gun. I haven't, since I bought other guns, you know, like my Glock 19 and my 1911 45. I haven't shot this one as much. I've honestly neglected it, but I really should shoot it more because it's cheap to shoot and it's still working on the fundamentals, which is something that I very much still need to work on, you know, even 10 months later. So I think, you know, more often now when I go to the range, you know, when I make myself shoot almost like a warm-up, you know, 50, 100 rounds of 22, just to kind of get a feel for things. Other than that, no, that's about it. I thought I was going to say something else, but I guess not. So yeah, so that's it for our first video. I'm hoping in the next one, after I get a GoPro or, you know, some other type of more dedicated camera, you know, instead of this stupid cell phone camera, the videos will be better. I'll be more willing to do them, and it'll be more frequent updates. Until then, though, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks. Bye.